1994, found myself pastoring a large suburban Baptist church in the edge of Birmingham, Alabama. Having been a pastor for 35 years, saved as a lad of a boy, prayed for the time I was in my mother's womb that God would call me to preach. Product of Southern Baptist Church, never known anything but church life. Pastored 5 consecutive Baptist churches for 35 years. 1994, found my wife and I hopelessly and helplessly estranged. We were total strangers. We were already emotionally divorced. We were living on opposite ends of a large, rambling Baptist pastorium, and we would not even speak to each other until we had to. Things had gotten very desperate. They didn't get there overnight, as you would imagine. We arrived at that place due to a lot of neglect, especially on my part, a lot of presumption, presuming upon God, presuming upon my wife, taking a lot of things for granted. Failure on my part to be the spiritual leader that I knew how to be and knew I ought to be, but refused to do. A lot of neglect. My wife warned me one day that if things didn't get any better after our son married, she was not going to go to church with me anymore. Came off of my son's wedding in Tennessee, and my wife fulfilled her promise, and she didn't go back to church with me that Sunday morning or Sunday night nor the following week. In fact, for the balance of that entire year, over 8 months, my wife refused to go to church with me. Every Sunday morning, I'd get up and get in my car and drive off to church where I would preach and do my thing. After I left, she would get in her car and drive across town to a smaller church of another denomination where she thought she wouldn't be recognized or any further source of embarrassment to either of us. And that's the way we spent about 8 months of Sundays. My people began to reason among themselves, and I listened to them thinking that the reason my wife wasn't with me in church was because she was sick. When I found out that that's what they were thinking, I let them think that. By my silence, I gave them the impression that I was a helpless martyr preacher preaching faithfully on Sunday, and my wife wouldn't even come and hear her husband preach. And we lived under that lie for a long, long time. I became the great pretender, which is the unfortunate but accurate title of my testimony. I pretended that all was well in the Graham home when that was the furthest thing from the truth.